All right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I think it's working. Everything's good. I'm going to have a very short session today. So I've sent a message on Discord. And catch up with me later. I'm going to be talking about the correction, TRVL bottom, the timings, and then I'm going to be looking at MOCA and prop base. And yeah, and then just if I've got time, I'll have a look at some other things. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of just make it very short today. I think everyone's got better things to do than look at the charts on a Saturday afternoon. It's Saturday 4:19 p.m. UK time. All right, so just kind of following on from yesterday on Bitcoin. So I kind of was imagining this. It's still possible, huh? It's still possible. Yeah, there's not much volume incoming today, not much price action. It's kind of going quite flat, isn't it? It's gone quite flat. And looking at the daily candle, I mean, I want a green one. We'd need quite a bullish markup tomorrow to if this ends red, because you're going to have a brand new daily level there. You could go up and then fall right back down, and then it would look quite bearish, and then there'd be no way to kind of recover because you'll be red, and then it wouldn't look good. That being said, let me just kind of analyze this. We have to see how today's daily candle closes. The 12 hours of last 12 hours, look, reducing volume, decreasing volume. So the volume's dropped off. The sell volume's dropped off. You can see that. It's still coming down, but there isn't much selling right now. Okay. It's a bit deceptive here because you've got a little reversal here and then it falls back. We're kind of underneath this midpoint of the lower half of the channel. So we kind of have to reclaim that as some kind of blip. But there are some kind of bullish signs, and I just want to go over the bullish signs that I've been noticing. While I do that, I'm just going to do what I always do. Update the volume. Always update the volume first. Just make sure there aren't any changes. This is the range. No changes. We are starting to put a little bit of volume in the lower part of this range. Yeah, you can see that it's kind of catching up with the upper part of this range. This is the Trump pump volume. Yeah, no changes. No changes at all. So these volume levels are relevant. We've come down to the 236, bounced, hit the 382. So right now we're going kind of level to level with big resistance at 98k. 98k is big resistance, massive resistance. So there aren't really many changes since yesterday. There isn't really much difference from yesterday. Let me pull out my corrective idea. So A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. A, B, C. Let me try and draw this slightly different. It's quite subjective, huh? Sometimes you have to mess about with it. So let's check. C, A, B, C. I'm just messing about with this. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% at all. Is that possible? Not sure how low that would go, but that's my target. If that's your target, you've got two targets there. That's the correct, that's the bullish one. Yeah, quite a bit subjective, a little bit subjective. If you go up there like that, then you're looking at to the yeah. Yeah, that would work. That would work very well. Make that bounce down. I don't know. I really don't know. Obviously this down move is over. It's definitely over. So we're in an up move now. I think it's a corrective up move. It's not impulsive. This wasn't an impulse. Sure, that's impulsive, but I think it's just impulsive part of the correction. It's a corrective impulse. It's not really impulsive price action to take us to higher prices. It's a corrective impulse. So it's just some shorts getting liquidated or whatever. ABC, ABC. We're in a kind of downward ABC right now, aren't we? You can see that, can't you? And I thought so as well. Yesterday I was talking about maybe going down to here, which is the golden pocket. That would be kind of balanced. And what you're seeing now is bullish absorption. So that changes. Bullish absorption can always change things a little bit. You see here, CVD's going lower. The price is kind of holding higher prices. So you can see that there's bullish. That changes things a little bit because it means the price is trying to go down to finish its corrective move, but it's being absorbed. Yeah, it's being absorbed. So it's being prevented from going down, which means that even though you've got lower targets based on some kind of symmetrical movement, some kind of symmetrical ABC type move, you know, you could just kind of front run it. You could front run it because of the absorption. So the absorption prevents it hitting the corrective target. And then maybe if this ends at about, I don't know, I'm not 100%, but if let's say roughly ends at about 3 p.m. in the early hours, and then you're looking for a ladder up. Now you've got two targets. If we do kind of end here, then you've got two targets, the 618 and the 1-to-1, based on this corrective move here. That's more bearish, and then that's more bullish, and that changes your targets further on. So we have to see how this kind of ascends. And I think in the first instance, if you go up and you have a failed auction here on time, so timing is quite important too. So you're kind of expecting it to end by the end of Sunday's candle. Be nice to get a really nice bullish rise, another rise, kind of like this, kind of an ABC though. I mean, it wouldn't be just a single, it'd be like that, rise, rejection, and then up. Very similar to that first part. Bam, bam, bam. Kind of copy the first part, and also copy the first part as far as timing goes as well. That's kind of what you're looking for. This doesn't have to go this far. I don't know how far it's going to go. It could just go flatter like that. Again, if it goes flatter, then your targets change a little bit, because you've got a trend-based fib extension based on these pivots. And let's just say, for the sake of example, we're now correctively doing this, then actually your 618 lands on the golden pop on the point of control. That would be a much better target to reject. The point of control on the 618 would be a much better target, and then you've got a higher target of the 1-to-1. Whatever happens, nothing changes as far as big resistance. Big resistance is 98k. Yeah, so just mark that level in your mind. If for some reason by tomorrow we get to 98k, that would be a very good place to take profit if you're in longs. Okay, that's on my mind. Okay, but also naturally the point of control is on my mind too, so you just can't ignore the point of control. The point of control is slightly underneath 98k. It would be a good place to start scaling out your positions at the point of control if and when we're able to get to the point of control. Okay, whatever happens, you can't ignore the point of control. And as the price descended, you see that it wasn't ignored, it was confirmed as resistance, support, resistance. Yeah, so you'd expect it to be resistance on the way up. And if we can kind of go flatter here, if we can go down like this, and we can kind of go up like this for a jump like that, then maybe your 618 is the point of control, and that will be the target. Maybe that's your target, the point of control. Who knows? Like, we have to see. It's a work in progress. It's development in progress. Just got to keep on analyzing the charts. Wherever we land up there and reject for another down move, the final down move, another ABC down move, probably a really sharp one, to be honest with you. Probably kind of like blah, blah, you know, could even just fake out again for a second time. It just depends. Like, we just don't know. You have to wait for the reaction and try not to catch it too early, and look for a good reaction. Look for a good reaction at the area of interest. That's what you're looking for. You're either looking for a reaction lower down at the area of interest, or a sign of strength. Okay, a sign of strength is to reclaim a level that's classed as a sign of strength. So we've had a little bit of strength So that's why we're presuming that this down move is over, because we've seen strength. You know, it required strength to take the price up there. That required strength. That wasn't weakness, that was strong. Okay, and fair enough, we've lost it and we've reclaimed it and we've lost it. We're trying to reclaim it. In the first instance was strong, yeah, and even though we've seen pullbacks, we are getting higher lows here, aren't we? We're not going down low, so that's important too. So that's kind of BTC. No real big changes from yesterday. We knew it was going to be slower, grind, and that's kind of where we're at now. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. I think depending on how we end this B corrective, this down corrective move, we're in the A, B, C. We're doing an ABC, isn't it? A, B, C. We're doing an ABC here. Depending on how we end the C, possibly by the early hours of this morning, Sunday, if we can get a nice kind of reaction, we can start kind of heading to higher prices. That's really the next move. ABC, another ABC up, and I think that's kind of where you're looking to end. And we have to see what happens, because then you are looking for a corrective down again. You are. I am. I'm not looking. I mean, a lot of the markets, everyone is, and this is interesting. So I just want people to be aware. And you know, it's hard to know until you know. Okay, so looking at my X, I kind of try and bookmark stuff which I think could be interesting. Here, look, this guy Crypto Carl Moon. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a moon boy. Lots of followers. I do follow him because, you know, he's interesting. He's not uninteresting. He's got his own way of analysis. He's talking about a death cross on the market, BTC dominance. It's quite interesting. So you've got a lot of these things going on, and it makes you think, well, the people are being rallied into this alt season, huh? Like this bullish retest will send all altcoins into Valhalla, and you know, getting people really bullish on altcoins, really bullish on altcoins. Could it dump? Yes, it could. It could totally dump. It could totally dump. It could totally trap people for one final push down. Yeah, and so they're talking about the timings. This guy's been talking about timings here. 742 days, 742 days. This is from the previous bull market. So we are kind of on time, but it doesn't have to be to the day. It could be a week here or there, and it could trap people. It could definitely trap people if people start accumulating now, and then it drops another 20% or 30%, and then they sell because they think the bull market's over, and then the price goes up. And so it's always good to try and look for the initial reaction into areas of interest. And then the other thing it's good to look for is for bullish impulsive price action. Bullish impulsive price action almost always will come, almost always, not always, almost always will come from a drop like that. Down, and then it reacts. Yeah, it's from the lows. So I'm not expecting a bullish impulsive reaction from here. Yeah, unless you think that this was a bullish impulsive reaction, which it wasn't, because it just grounded up. A bullish impulsive reaction is impulsive. It's impulse. It's impulsive price. It's people market buying in with volume. Yeah, not people catching every single candle dip and then waiting for the price to go up because the sellers have diminished. It's a very different price action. So the only impulsiveness I see here are these two candles, but that's it really. It really should have been, if there's going to be if we're going to have a bullish move, impulsive move, it should have been from here. Should have been from there. Should have taken the highs, ABC correction, and we should have been impulsing for higher prices. That's how it should have been, and we're not seeing that, so therefore it's not. So this is not an impulsive move. The other thing that I think people are starting to notice as time passes is this somewhat weird inverse head and shoulders. So you could get a little fake out, get people bullish because they're seeing this inverse head and shoulders, higher targets, 100k, whatever, reject off the point of control, and then right back down underneath the neckline, some sort of neckline, and then that's when you get the final dump, the rejection of a bottom pattern, and then you're just basically, all you're really doing is, what is this, a corrective ABC, capture the liquidity, the final bit of liquidity. Now it could just be this current low here, or it could be the range low. Okay, now if we do this, I don't mind if it's the range low, whereas before I did mind if it's range low because it was too early. Whereas now, if we finally come to complete a big corrective WXY and take the range low, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Okay, after we have an ABC WXY corrective to take the liquidity for the range low. Now there's two ways we can get out of this. It would be a swing failure, which would be amazing because they're very easy. Swing failures are very easy to trade, You just wait for the price to come back above the pivot low, the swing low, and you long. And your invalidation is at the current pivot low. Yeah, with a little bit of a gap, but that's basically a swing failure, very easy to trade. Or a failed auction. Those are the two scenarios where we could start some kind. I don't know, I don't really like failed auctions. I don't think you're going to get an impulsive move out of a failed auction, to be honest with you. I think, yeah, I'm not 100% about failed auction. I think that's a good place. If we see it, I think you can't, the thing about a failed auction is you can't buy it. You have to wait because it will drop like here. Then it will just consolidate for a few hours, for half a day, maybe a full day. Then you get a buyout like that. And actually, that's your first impulse, but you can't catch it because there's no way you would have bought that. You have the first buyout with the first impulse, but there's no way for you to catch the first wave. You just have to wait for it to happen. Then you have to wait for the corrective, and then that's when you would catch the next wave, which would be a sign of strength, which would be back above the previous pivot low into the range low for little failed auction. So I prefer swing failure because you'll be able to catch the low. If you get a failed auction, it'd be very difficult to catch low. It'd be like gambling really, because it could fail and drop. It's a gamble, yeah. So we just don't know what's going to happen in the future. Some people, you could start scaling in, but then if it starts going down, you'd have to take a loss. It's probably a best strategy on a failed auction type move would be, as it consolidates the next few hours or day, start scaling in, and then maybe it will just go back up, and then you just reposition in, and you'll have an average lower than the range low, which is kind of what you want, because that's now you're expecting a mega pump, the mega pump, the big pump. So this is kind of where we're at right now. I like the bullish divergence I'm seeing on this CVD. I thought this morning that ETH was a bit weak. Didn't like it at all, and then suddenly ETH found a little bit of strength. So let me just show you that. And again, it's like you see something, it is what it is, and then suddenly it changes. I was seeing some major weaknesses here on ETH, and it was indicative or reflective on ETH BTC. Look at that, really poor price action, really weak. There's no way to long this. It's just disgusting. Losing the local range, value area low, back testing it for resistance. It was horrible. And then suddenly you just got some kind of pump. What the fuck happened at about 9 a.m. It just started to go up, and that's a sign of strength. This is a sign of strength, yeah. Reclaiming the value area, lost value area on the value area low is a sign of strength. And right now, as you can see, we're nicely consolidating after reclaiming that level. This is a sign of strength on ETH BTC, so that should be you see here on ETH, we've come all the way down to the value area low, and we've just gone straight through the point of control. So we're getting a little bit of strength on ETH right now, which is possibly because of this whole alt season hype now. And this is actually finally we're getting something that we want to see. Finally, we're going to get some kind of positive price action to the upside. And you know, while BTC is kind of going kind of flat, ETH is starting to show a little bit more strength. That's kind of what you want to see. Let me just quickly flip it to BTC dominance. Yeah, BTC dominance gave up the ghost earlier on today, and now we're getting dropping right back down to 58. We kind of have to lose 58 level and start falling back down. I don't know if it's going to happen today or this week, because if we do kind of, if BTC looks to pull back next week, we could get BTC dominance go up again. We just have to pay attention to the charts and see what happens. Let's just quickly have a look at Solana and Slurf, because I like to see what they're doing, especially Solana. Solana was showing, oh Mohan, welcome. Let's see that you're here. You're showing me a chart. Let me have a look at it. You've got these moving averages. In weekly, it's still looking okay, but the thing is, after such a long consolidation on the move, should have been a little more high, but then it went. But again, 100k is a huge psychological. It is huge. Imagine people bought BTC for dirt cheap below 20k. For them, 100k is an achievement, a good level to sell. Absolutely. And I know some people who have sold all of their Bitcoin. So I think everyone thinks they know, and no one really does. Everyone claims to know, and no one really does. Solana again was showing incredible weakness. 2 days ago it closed lower. Yesterday it couldn't close higher. It's an inverse hammer in the lows, and now we're getting a higher low. This is actually, for me, this is the first sign of strength that I'm seeing on Solana in a heck of a long time. In a good part of a couple of weeks, a week, at least a week after that first pump. So I like what I'm seeing at the moment, but it doesn't mean that we're strong again. It just means that maybe Solana's lagged in bottoming out here. This is the low. At the moment, that's the lower high. That yellow line is low high. This is the lower low. Right now, we're coming in to put slightly higher low. We could go up to put in a lower high. You could end up with, you know, like something like that on Solana, like an ABCD type corrective move here. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I have no idea, but it is possible to end up with some kind of unusual correctiveness here to finally expand out, just putting in higher lows here, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Or it is also possible to have a weak recovery here, reject, have a final breakdown, probably not all the way down there, to be honest with you. Probably just to take this low here, this actual low here, for a lower low, then that becomes your lower high, and then all you have to do is impulse up to take that high. Finally, we can change market structure if we get a nice impulsive move to take that high instead of that higher high there. So Solana's been showing weakness for an incredible long time, since basically almost a month now. Solana's been extremely weak, and we're looking for strength. I don't think we're going to see strength right now. We're just going to see Solana lagging behind the market. Maybe it will catch up, because you're going to get the Solana moon boys start longing like there's no tomorrow. Maybe. I've noticed that Slurf has been slightly stronger than Solana, has been. Although right now when I look at it, it's it's not recovering as good as Solana. It's been slightly stronger when you compare it to Solana, which is quite interesting. I usually think that that's a sign of strength. You see how this pullback on Slurf. See, Solana had a much deeper corrective pullback. Here it was a lot flatter. You see that? So I think that's quite interesting. You see how Slurf was able to take the high and Solana failed to take the high. Slurf has been showing a little bit more strength, and so that's quite interesting for me. It looks like Slurf is being heavily accumulated compared to Solana. That's what it looks like. And why not? Slurf is a lower market cap, and it's probably going to follow exactly the same path as Solana when we get our big alt season. Probably the money to be made is on Slurf. T13, welcome. Yeah, I can have a look at way through. Anyway, these are kind of observations. I think all eyes are on Bitcoin at the moment, Bitcoin and ETH. Let's not get too distracted with our altcoins. They're just following Bitcoin and ETH. It's not, there aren't many altcoins that are doing something different. They're all kind of following the same path. Yeah, some are at their highs, some are at the lows, but they're all kind of similarly following the same path as Bitcoin and ETH. And fundamentally for altcoins, you want ETH to show strength. We don't really give a shit about Bitcoin. It's actually all about ETH when it comes to altcoins. It's not about Solana, it's not about Sui, it's all about ETH. If ETH starts pumping, all our altcoins are going to go to the moon. Yeah, that's all that matters. And actually the chart that really matters more than any other chart is ETH BTC. Yeah, so right now when you're looking at ETH BTC, as I said earlier, we're kind of finding a little bit of strength coming back into this local range, but just bear in mind we are underneath this slightly higher range, this wider range. See that? So while we're kind of finding a little bit of strength in this very local range, we're still weak until we can get back into the bigger range. And if we do kind of go up here, whatever, and reject and go down for one last drop, we have some really nice juicy point of control. This red line is the overall point of control for ETH. The overall, literally, it's a multi-year point of control. It's a juicy one. We haven't hit it yet. We've only managed to hit the 618 of the golden pocket, the top of the golden pocket. So we have a juicy point of control there. Whatever happens, I do expect, like, we are almost at the end of ETH and its weakness. Whatever happens, look, we've already had a little, the thing about these levels is if you come down fast in one go, they probably don't hold. They kind of break and you kind of lose those levels. But when you kind of come into this level slowly and you had a front run and then it's slow, then these levels actually are able, these big levels are able to hold the price. Yeah, it's just the way it works. Okay. And right now we're approaching the biggest level in ETH possible. ETH BTC we're approaching or above this massive golden pocket. We've already had a reaction for 618 and this higher time frame, this overall point of control. See that? From the beginning of this token all the way to current price, we're coming to the median price, the average price for volume. So whatever happens, our alt season is upon us. Mohan, the dominance is choppy ASF. I'm thinking we'll be in alt season when it gets rejected from the 50 moving average, which is the yellow one. This means alts will pump well right now. This means alts will pump well, but right now, even before alts pump 40%, they just end up going lower. Honestly, I don't really know much about moving averages. I think you probably know a lot better because you're looking at them more than me. Yeah. This moving average, this yellow line, wasn't respected, but you did get a reaction. but it wasn't really respected. So I don't really expect it to be respected again the next time we hit it. You see, it wasn't really respected. So I don't really give it much. I don't personally give it much value. Whereas here, when I'm looking at the golden pocket, I've got a perfectly lined up reaction. That can't get that in there. So I like that much. I like this much better. And so, and I also like the fact that the point of control is just underneath us. So if we do drop, even just a liquidity grab underneath there would be enough to take us to Valhalla, to take us to higher highs. Just because for me, that's telling me on a higher time frame, this is massive support. The first time, yeah, but it touched it for the first time. Waiting for MOCA. It touched it for the worst time, but first time, but it kind of didn't really respect it either. I don't know. I am seeing quite a bearish pattern here, to be honest with you. So I don't know how this is going to play out. There are aspects of this that I don't like. Get rid of these. It's weird, huh? This is, for me, this is quite bearish. Because you could get like a final drop like that. Usually if it was going to be bullish, you'd get some kind of, it would have rounded like that. But we haven't done that. We haven't made it. We were almost there, but it kind of had to hold, and then you'd get some kind of bullish pattern formed there. And we're not getting that. We're getting something a little bit more bearish. And so you kind of do need to go down one more time to just clear this. So anyway, I think we're close, but we're not there yet. We're close, but we're not there yet. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's have a look at MOCA, because you're waiting. And I've posted MOCA. Well, MOCA looks good, doesn't it? Had a really nice bullish week, big volume. Now, I can go into higher time frame analysis of MOCA. Don't really needs to, because it's obvious what's happening. You're getting a corrective move after a big impulsive move. That being said, I think we're in some kind of, potentially in some kind of bullish harmonic here. This is a Gartley. This is a bullish Gartley. The problem is that you've also got the value area high. So the price has managed to fall underneath the value area high here. Do you see that? So let me just mark off those levels. I like to mark off my volume levels. Get rid of those. So I think this is a bullish harmonic. This is a Gartley. And we're getting a little bit of a bullish reaction, but it's not fully confirmed yet, just because we're still underneath this pivot here. It's still offering us resistance. And these, I mean, it's always possible to just go down one more time and then go up. And so you end up with something more like that. But the further it goes, the less likely it is to be a bullish harmonic. You know, it has to be timed correctly. It has to look right. Right now, at the moment, this for me looks okay. And you're getting a nice reaction from the low here. But really what you need to do now is take the pivot B, and then we can actually probably aim towards the highs. That's what your target is, really, to get back above the highs, make an all-time high there. But obviously, you know, Bitcoin has a large part to play, and here you can already see we've rejected the value area high from the value area high there. So at the moment, the value area high is offering resistance, and there's no reason to expect it to not offer resistance if it goes up the second time here. What you need to see here is you need to see a flip to go up, and there's no reason to expect that, because right now you can see that the value area high is offering resistance. So even though you got a bullish harmonic here, it looks starting to look bullish until you can get back above the value area high and flip it into support. There is a chance that we go down again. We go down one more time, and that, I think that's largely to do with what happens in the rest of crypto. You see here, this is the higher range, and you've got resistance. We've fallen underneath resistance. So if we can get back into this higher range above the value area high and find support, then guess what? That's a sign of strength. This Gartley is in play because you've recaptured this pivot B, and you're probably pumping at the very least. You'll go to the value area high, and then if you get continuation, you could end up heading towards the top of that. That's kind of where we're at with this. Otherwise, if you reject here and just can't get above it, you're probably looking for another leg down, and you're probably looking to fill any one of these candles, any one of those, for another leg down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's just the reality of where we are now with this token, just simply because it looks like you've had 5 impulsive waves here, or more. I don't know, it looks like more actually. It looks quite impulsive, huh? Look, impulse. It's quite impulsive. It looks like it's ended, huh? Without going into depth and trying to calculate. Maybe that was the wave 1, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and you have your final 5 there. That's kind of what it looks like. Let me just delete all this stuff. Put this into another group. Really? That's so funny. I made a lot of money in that riser. I did, yeah. I sold into that. I was accumulating here, and as soon as it went up, I looked at my phone. It's like, oh my god, is it really that much? Sell. I didn't even hesitate. I was like, oh my god, is MOCA really that much? Can't believe it. So crazy. Let's just hide this. Let me just try and map out these waves as well, quickly if I can. It's never quick with me, I know, and I don't have much time. I was hoping to get a nap because I'm going out tonight. Where does the impulsiveness begin? Let's try and imagine that this is where it began. I don't know. 1, ABC, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to here. 4, wow. It's really hard to tell because it's so subjective. Yeah, look at that. It went all the way to the 1-to-1 there. That from the 4-to-1. It's quite nice, actually. Best guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's your wave 1. That's my best guess. Then you have a kind of a really nice ABC correction here. Something like that. I don't know exactly. Something like that. Roughly. Then you get the impulse. 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C flat. My God. There's your 3. Let's go that. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Best guess, you know, like it's not, I'm not 100%. It's just, I'm just kind of don't want to waste too much time here. Yeah, look at that. Really impulsive. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know about this first wave, to be honest with you. I'm just making it up. It's a tricky one. Ideally, yeah, because it starts at the low. You can kind of count 5 waves. That would be your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Where's the 4, 5? 4, 5. It's a very unusual correction, impulsive move there. You just get that one big candle, and then that kind of, I mean, you could argue, I don't know, it's tricky because you, is it 1, 2, 3? This 5, could it end over here? And this is just more of a flatter correction. don't know. I don't, probably not actually. Anyway, this is where I'm at the moment. Maybe for another wave. If it doesn't come, then I just have to go back and count, because I've obviously miscounted somehow. Because you can see impulsive price action. Does it end there, or are we still looking for another a 5 wave? If it ended there, then obviously I've miscounted somehow. Somehow, maybe it's to do this beginning. Maybe that was the wave 1, and this whole thing was a corrective wave. 2, 3. I can't count it, but it is possible. It's possible that that was your 3 there, 4, 5 here. That's your 1, and you have this kind of a bit more of a prolonged correction like that, and then up. It still doesn't give me the end 5, unless you would say that was your end, and then this was your last wave, your last 5 wave, and now we've completed the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're in a corrective 2. Okay, but usually you have to count these, whereas here when it goes up, I don't know if I can see 5 waves actually to complete this 3, 1, 2. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit. No, don't really see it. 1. Don't really, oh yeah, maybe, look. No. The only way I can make this work is if that's your 1 there, that's your 2, three, 4, 5 to complete your 3. So you have a really unusual wave here, like a small 1, 3 went like that, flat, and then 4, and then that final thing was a 5. Crazy, yeah? It'd be crazy if that was it, and then you have this final 5 here. And then this whole thing is a corrective move. Correction, this whole thing's a corrective move. It's really tricky at Elliott waves to try and figure it out. So there's 2 ideas here. Hold on a second, my phone is ringing. Let me just answer this phone call. Give me a second. All right. It's really tricky, with waves, because you'd like to think that was the end, just simply that this whole thing ended, this wave 1, and now you're in a corrective wave 2, getting ready for the next wave. You'd like to think that. I think the reason why I think that this more than the other one was because we're still kind of in the highs, aren't we? We're still kind of in the highs. We haven't really pulled back that much. So, and we are getting a little bit of an ABC here, ABC type corrective move. That's what it looks like for me. Some kind of ABC type corrective. it could end up in 5 waves, another whatever DE or something, or it could end up with another ABC, ABC, ABC. I'd like to think that that was the ender of this whole impulsive move, because so 1 correction, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Maybe this is the best way. It's really unusual the way it happened, because it kind of went up, it rounded, and then down, and then it went up, and then you had this last, this probably ended it actually somewhere here, probably, and now we're in the correction. It's my best guess. I might be wrong. To the 3. Yeah, I've got this correction ending just based on these pivots from the 0 to the 3 to the 4 somewhere around Thursday next week. So I do wonder if we get a little kind of another dump, and then Thursday will be a good place to pick it up, because I'm getting the same kind of idea with a lot of coins. One more kind of drop, and then maybe that's when we can start this move potentially. But what's interesting is that we have lost the value area, and so the next great area to buy on MOCA it's going to be the 50 fibber, and there's no confluence there apart from this 4-hour order block. Is that anything there? Yeah, the top of this daily level. See that? There's a back test of this daily level. It's either that or the golden pocket, but I think probably I prefer slightly higher. So like this, to come down to there. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for lower. I think lower is always possible, but I think this makes more sense like this, unless you get one big dump, because for reasons that you can't explain, you just get one big sell-off, and obviously the golden pocket's always the best place. It's always better at the golden pocket, but I think because I'm using log, and on log scale usually 50% is the right place, which is kind of there at about 17 cents. So possibly one more move down, possibly. And if I do think we're in a bullish harmonic now, but again, usually these bullish harmonics, and I don't think, could that be a bullish harmonic down here? Let me have a look. Let's see, is that a bullish harmonic? No, not really. I don't like it, but it is possible, just because of the way this price moves. You see A, B, C, D. It's quite symmetrical actually. 1 to 1, slightly lower. It's not a Gartley. This isn't a Gartley. It's it's just an ABC type correction, ABCD, whatever correction after you've got a move. The Gartley would be here, I think. And maybe it is actually. Let me just pull it up actually. Where is the images? Do I have an image? Let me have a look. I have to keep on looking because harmonics. It's always good to just grab the image and have a look at it and see if you can get it. Right. Gartley. See, Gartley isn't so deep. Yeah, that's why I was thinking Gartley. It's not so deep, but Gartley is a little bit more. That C is probably more like that, and this is more like that. It's more like that. See that? It's more like that, actually. That's more of a Gartley, you see. I was thinking maybe that was a Gartley here to this point here. We're getting a little reaction here, but the price has to get has to kind of impulse out and get above this B point. If it struggles here and it just can't get past it, then you're probably looking for lower and probably looking for down there. And then if you do go down there, it doesn't look like any of these, huh? So no. Arguably, you could say it's like a bat, couldn't you? You could arguably say it's like a funny bat. This one here, this first one, the C is under the A, the B, and then you've got the D above the X. You could arguably say that it's I don't know. Maybe it's a bat, but there is some kind of bullish harmonic forming here, and based on this corrective move, the 618 would be where we are now, which we've already bounced off it. You see, we've had a perfect bounce off the 618 just on this corrective move to there, to there, to there, to there, to here. That's a perfect corrective bounce off the 618. You lose the 618, you're probably heading to the 1-to-1, which would be slightly underneath the 50 fib. And you'd probably want to see a big dump, huh? A big dump down to that level, find support, and then a bullish reaction. Maybe it is a bat, a funny shaped bat. Okay, let's see what happens. But I think based on fib time, I'm looking for it to end around Thursday. Doesn't mean it can't go up today and tomorrow. I am expecting maybe an up by tomorrow. But if the rest of the market, Bitcoin, the market wants to pull back, then there's no, all coins aren't going to survive that. They'll pull back too. And then you're looking for your entry, a nice reaction here on the 1-to-1. It's kind of MOCA, what I'm looking at MOCA at the moment. Okay, but right now, potentially, if that is a bat, I don't know, it's a weird shaped bat, but this is more like a Gartley. But with a Gartley, you would expect this to now go above the value area high and start pumping. Yeah, and at the very least, it needs to show strength, which would be to take it back above this value area high. And then if I pull back the this fixed range, you can see that we can't even get into this value area. See that? That's the first indication of strength here. First indication of strength would be acceptance back into this value area. You see that? This is okay, yeah? This looks good for higher prices. If you see that, it's looking good for higher prices. And if it can't do that, then you're going down. And you're going down to here. This is your target. Right? That's what I'm kind of thinking about MOCA right now. I can't spend too much time. But Crico CR7, I hope that was a little bit informative. Possibly we finished the wave 1. This whole thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your wave 1. So this is your wave 2, and the next one is the big wave, the big 3. So the strategy to scale in on spot is the best strategy. But if you get a reaction on time at your area of interest, and you need to see the reaction first, that's a reaction, then it is possible for a leverage play with an invalidation underneath the reaction if it's on time. Yeah, and because that would be, you'll be looking for a completion of this corrective wave, and then you'll be looking for a big 5-wave impulsive move to take us to price discovery. Okay, so if you see the reaction on time somewhere around Thursday, at the right level, about slightly lower than 17 cents, like 16.3. Okay, you see it come 16.3 and react, that will be an invalidation, and then there's a leverage play on the table, with a really good risk to reward, because now you're expecting this corrective move to end, and you're expecting the next wave of the impulsive move. And based on what I'm seeing, this is has the potential for crazy impulse, doesn't it? Has real good potential for crazy impulse. Look at the impulsiveness. So maybe we can get that into higher prices. Right, so that's kind of where I'm at, MOCA. Any questions on that? Let me not really, I need to kind of finish because I have to go soon. I always have to go. Prop S had a little bit of a buy up today, actually, quite interesting. It's come into my area of interest. Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's over. Just because of the rest of the market. The rest of the market isn't showing me what I need to see. Yeah, and so obviously this is, the whole thing is weak here. It was weak because we've lost the value area. There's a lot going on in my charts. We are coming to the end of the correction. I've got it to end by next weekend, to be honest with you. So we're close, and some altcoins are going to be more bullish than others. Some altcoins are going to be more resilient than others. Some altcoins are going to be less strong than others. Yeah, there's no way to know. At the moment, this is showing a little bit of resilience here, but it has dropped quite a lot. We've lost the value area again. We've all lost the value area, similar to MOCA, and we've definitely lost the point of control there. We've come to test this anchored VWAP from the launch. This is probably the best place to buy this token at the anchored VWAP from launch. It's the average weighted price from the launch. So the average volume is here right now, just slightly underneath where we are at 6.6 cents. It's the average price. So you're buying at the average price, and if you're bullish, if you're expecting higher prices, this is the right price to buy. And every single time we've tested this area, we've had a reaction to the upside. From the beginning of this token. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This is the next. This is another reaction, another reaction. So we're getting good reactions. This is the right place. If we lose it, we lost it, then we're going to the golden pocket. That's also a really good place, but then you have to reclaim that level to go higher. So then you're underneath big resistance. Yeah, that's the problem with going lower at the moment. No one really knows, but I do have the correction ending this week, and next week. Let's see what happens. I would like it to go up and then come back down, but I don't write the rules. I don't write. I wish I did that. It'd be easy. And then let me just quickly have a look at TRVL. So TRVL, unfortunately, is still showing weakness. Yeah. Why is TRVL showing weakness? So it's really annoying because people think it's a scam. It's not a scam. People think it's not a good coin. It is a good coin. It is a good token. The project is sound. It's a real world project. They've got partnerships with some big players. They've got a big partnership with Fetch. So that's all you really need to know, because Fetch is really bullish. Why is it dropping? Well, it's simply dropping because of an illiquid market. And what's happening is that when people sell, they sell market, and there's no liquidity. There's not enough liquidity to hold higher prices, so it just drops. And the same is true in reverse. Why does the price go up so fast? Because there's no liquidity. So when the market starts buying again, it goes up quite a lot. So when the market starts buying, this has the potential to go up really fast, really quickly to higher prices. Yeah, just simply because of the illiquid nature of the market at these prices in this market. Maybe in the future, when it is on more exchanges, you're going to get more liquidity, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to move the way it has moved, it will require more volume. See, right now, relatively low volume can move the price in comparison to what would be required if it was on more exchanges. It would require more volume to move the price both to the upside and to the downside. So right now we're just experiencing an illiquid market, but what I'm seeing is that there's quite strong hidden bullish divergence on the MACD. You see that? So you see that the MACD is down, and we're forming a higher low there on the price. that just tells me that there's been quite a heavy absorption in this down move. So people are selling and the price is being absorbed. And then the other thing that I'm seeing is some kind of bullish divergence on the CCI. Higher low here, lower lows on the price. That's quite bullish. We're coming to the end of this correction. So I've got this correction ending again somewhere towards next weekend, maybe at the end of next weekend or the beginning of next weekend. It says Monday, the 20th of Jan, which is Trump's inauguration. These are kind of areas of time. They're not exact timings, but I've got the correction coming to an end. And then also, if it was to come into the golden pocket, that would be the best place to buy this. When the market starts buying again, like when you get in, when Bitcoin starts pumping, all of your altcoins are going to be going up really quickly. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, everyone's going to be like, everyone who's sitting out of the market on the sidelines is going to be market buying their altcoins. And that moment, it's going to be a race. Whoever can buy their altcoins quicker makes more money. Yeah. And so that's when you're going to, there's going to be a race. The next move is going to be a race. Yeah. You're going to suddenly see some really impulsive price action because you're going to suddenly see large amounts of capital deployed across all the markets. And there's going to be a race, a flood of people rushing to just buy. So a lot of people buy on leverage, and a lot of people will be deploying spot, and then you're going to get this mad rush of buying. Yeah, that's how you're going to get the impulsive move. On a low liquid market like this, I wouldn't be surprised if we just shoot up to 9 cents in a day, to be honest with you, and then just break it the next day and just keep on riding higher. Because that's the next market is going to be like that. It's going to be really crazy. Okay, so most people, if they're waiting, you're not going to get the time. You won't have the time to accumulate if you're looking to accumulate. If you haven't deployed your capital, it'll just be up. You'll be shocked. You'll wake up one day and you'll see the prices right back up at 9 cents, 10 cents, whatever. The next move is going to be a little bit crazy. Okay. And so just be aware of that. And so it's good to have a position on all your favorite coins, regardless of how big it is, so you don't end up FOMOing in. You can just scale in as the price ascends when it starts ascending. Yeah, if you haven't deployed all your capital, that's fair because you're waiting for the final dip. But just be aware of it. It's not a good idea to be out non-exposed, because when it moves, no one knows exactly when it's going to move. But when it moves, you're going to suddenly see huge volume, and it's going to hit the market when you least expect it. When it's suddenly everyone thinks it's bear market, it's dead, there's no point buying, and then suddenly everything is just rocketing, and you'll be like, shit, this token's already up 50%. What do I do? Do I start buying? What do I do? You have no choice. And then the problem is that you've just come out of an extremely bearish movement, and you're worried that this could be continuation of the bear market, but it isn't. And the only way to protect yourself is to have a position and to kind of scale in as the price moves, and so you don't have to FOMO in chasing the price because you're already positioned in. You're just building on your position, and if it comes back, if it still continues to go down, which probably won't, then you're still okay. So Crico is saying thanks for MOCA. No, you're welcome. I'm expecting Binance listing any time because of the last listing on Upbit and Binance Futures, plus now 30k campaign with Binance. Okay, well, I think MOCA is a very strong token, to be honest with you. It's been quite resilient, and I've kind of given levels slightly lower. If you see a nice dip there and you see a good reaction, I think it was 16.3, something like that, then there could be a nice leverage play on the table. Yeah, and then if it hits that and then it gets listed a few days later, then you make a fortune. But it's good to kind of catch these tokens on time, and the impulsive moves begin at the bottom. You don't forget that. They begin at the bottom. They begin at the lows. Yeah, at the very low. And people like are bearish at the lows, but that's actually where the bullish impulsive moves begin, at the lows. So actually we're all looking for the bullish impulsive moves. Like here I'm looking at TRVL. You see, every impulsive move, when you look at the price action, 1, it began at the lows. 2, this 3, 4, 5 began at lows. Correction, look at the lows. It began at the lows. And you see here, it began at the lows. Every impulsive move begins at the lows. And so that's what you're looking for impulsive moves. That's the ones where you can make a lot of money in a short period of time. You're looking for the lows. You're looking for the price to hit lows. Okay. Could MOCA be in the lows? Well, it was, but if you don't see an impulsive move, then it's not anymore, is it? It's just correctively going up. That's what it looks like to me. It's correctively going up. And actually what you're looking for is an impulse. That's the next move, is an impulsive move. Not, you don't want to, you can make money on corrective moves, yeah, scalping. But actually what we're looking for is the next big move, the alt season, the crazy move, the one that takes us to crazy prices, the ones where millionaires are printed overnight. That's the move that we're looking for, right? Isn't it? And just be aware that that only happens from a dip to a low, to an actual low. So that's why I thought maybe that would be good, but then I want to see a bullish reaction. I'm not seeing an impulsive bullish reaction. I'm seeing a bullish reaction, but not an impulsive bullish reaction. And so therefore now I'm thinking, you know, maybe there, could it be a bat? Could that be an ABCD equal type diamonds type pattern to come to my level here? Maybe, who knows? We'll have to see. Just wait for the reaction. And if you see the reaction, increasing volume, look at the lowest time frame. You start seeing increasing volume. If you start seeing an increase in green volume from a low, that could be it. It's a good time to just go buy heavy, buy crazy. Just start buying. Okay, and just have your invalidation underneath the low where the volume started to come in. All right, I think that's it, guys. I'm gonna have to go quite soon. It's 5:36. I'm about to go out, so I'm gonna go and watch this. Actually, I'll show you. It's called Acid Arab Live. Acid Arab. This is it. Anyone heard of them? Acid Arab? Do they have a video here? I'll show you one of their videos. What's this one?
It's not a hobby. It's your...
Watch it yourself if you're interested. I'm gonna go and watch them. All right, guys. There's a few people here. Nice to see you. Let's just have a quick look at Bitcoin before I go. Yeah, getting quite strong bullish divergence here. Quite strong bullish divergence. That's kind of what you want to see. Let's have a look at ETH. That's kind of holding, actually. That's quite good. So ETH is holding strong. Bitcoin is pulling back. This gives me the vibe that we're about to go up. Yeah, because usually when ETH holds, goes sideways, and Bitcoin drops, that's when Bitcoin wants to go up. So that's what seems to be happening now. You see how Bitcoin has dropped and actually ETH has just held. Usually when that happens, it's when Bitcoin is about to go up. It's about to bottom out and then start going up, and then ETH that's where the money's made, isn't it? In the ETH and the altcoins. And so I expect, like, look at ETH BTC. ETH BTC is going up now because the market is getting ready for Bitcoin to bottom out. And the bottoming out is a local bottom. It's not the actual bottom. It's a local bottom. Like, I've got this ABC. I'm looking for Bitcoin to locally bottom out somewhere here, and then for a nice move, hopefully to 98k, 97, 98k, hopefully, depending on where we pivot. And that would be a really nice kind of, it'd be a really nice move, wouldn't it? And it will get everyone really bullish, and then maybe we can dump, maybe the market will dump on them again next week and let's go all the way down. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So that's kind of where we're at now. It's been quite volatile these few days, but it still hasn't taken the entry that we all had a couple of days ago. That's interesting. So I'm looking to see if we can go up to 98. I wouldn't mind if we fake out, actually. If we fake out the point of control, get everyone bullish, reject off 98, fall underneath and fall down. That would be really nice to see. A little fake out above the point of control. That will get everyone really bullish. And then actually it's a failed auction. And then you tap 98k, which is your big resistance level. And then you're dropping, heading for range lows. All right, guys, I got to go. I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'll message in Discord. So if you're not part of Discord, then you're all welcome. It's free. It will always be free. If anyone messages you pretending to be me, it's not me. I'll never message you. I'll just chat in these chats. Huh? I'll just chat here. So if anyone privately messages you, it's not me. Just let me know and I'll delete them or block them or ban them. But yeah, if I see anything, I'll post it here. So I do post stuff, just kind of what I'm seeing. Not financial advice. It's just an opinion. Yeah, it's just a perspective of what I'm seeing at the current time. Yeah, so it's not indicative of the future. It's just at the current time. Today I said ETH looking weak, and then when it started, I said there was bullish CVD on BTC, and then a bit later I said still holding and this is still bullish. And so kind of just giving my insights onto certain things. Everyone is welcome to contribute. And also Altcoin Dreaming has posted some really good stuff here. Everything you need to ever need. And there's lots of links here. If you're interested in learning, there's a lot of good things here. Good links. And we'll just go and have a look at that stuff like this. This is quite good. Look. Crypto bubbles. Let's have a look at it. Oh, there you go. I don't know what that does. Does that do anything for you? Let's have a look at the wow. It's quite fun, huh? It's fun. All right, I'm gonna go. Have a good evening, guys. Have a good weekend. See you tomorrow.